Hey, hi, welcome back. Here's another church. As I mentioned previously, um, I was amazed at the number of beautiful churches around Ann Arbor, and a lot of them are clustered in the campus area, which makes sense because that's really where Ann Arbor started and then spread out. But this is the First United Methodist Church, which is at 120 South State Street. You've either been in the church or you've walked by it several times. It's hard to miss. It is directly across from the Graduate Hotel, which to most of us is still the campus inn. So that will give you a sense of where it is. So let me read you from their website. So, the First United Methodist Church of Ann Arbor, located near the University of Michigan on State and Huron Streets. The history of the church dates back to 1825, when the first Methodist sermon was given in Ann Arbor by J.A. Bauman. In 1836, a site was purchased for a church on the corner of 5th Avenue and Ann Street. The cornerstone for the original church was laid on May 9th, 1866. Completed only 1 year later, the first service at the new church was led by the president of the University of Michigan at the time. The growth of the congregation required a newer, larger church to be built. That church, which is the present church, was dedicated on October 6, 1940. Though the newer church was much larger, additions, refurbishments have continued through the 21st century. For instance, the chapel and education wing were added in 1959, and the Memorial Garden, which is a very lovely, peaceful area, was added in 1981. A complete renovation took place in the year 2000. So again, it's a beautiful church. I was able to get inside. One of the assistant pastors was kind enough to let me basically have free reign inside to go ahead and shoot photographs. As with all of the locations, one of my challenges was, which one do I use? And I kind of love the symmetry of this particular photograph, and it does show the beauty of the church. As always, I ask for comments, and here are some of the comments that people had when they saw the photograph. Married in this church, 1952. It's a very long aisle for nervous bridesmaids. Love these beautiful old churches in Ann Arbor, said somebody else. Somebody else, my bride wanted a long aisle. She got it, and I can tell you it is a long aisle. Somebody else, the cookie walk at Christmas time was always great too. And one other person said, I've met some wonderful people in this church, truly admire all they do for our community. So this was 1940, and always we take a look at world perspective. So while this particular version of the Methodist Church was being built, what was happening around the world? Well, for one thing, Himmler orders construction of Auschwitz concentration camp near the city of Krakow in Poland. Also in that year, German troops march into Paris. The Roosevelt administration refuses a French request to help with Jewish immigration. One of the dark stains on our history. The first transmission of FM radio was heard with a clear, static-free signal. So that was 1940. I remember I got my first automobile, my first car with an FM radio in that car. I think it was when I got back from the military. So it was many, many years later in the late 60s. So the first transmission, I just said that. The Nazis passed a law that forbids Polish Jews to travel on trains. Well, there's a lot of irony with that one. Okay, so that was what happened in terms of the perspective of the world. I hope you enjoy this church and all the other beautiful buildings downtown. As always, thank you so much for joining me on this tour. Stay tuned. We have a lot more to go. All right, thank you.